Yes guys, welcome back to another video. Welcome to GBFC 2 for another round of Champions League chatter. If you haven't seen the video over on the main channel, I discussed the probabilities and the teams that I would like Chelsea to draw in the last 16. There are 7 clubs we could face. Go and check that video out as well. But today, we're going to do a little review of the group stage. We're going to look at the teams that won the group, as I didn't focus on that at all in my video over on the main channel. Before we get into anything though, I do want to ask you to subscribe to GBFC 2. We gained 1,000 subscribers yesterday, which is absolutely bloody wonderful. And whilst you're at it, if you could do me the small favour of hitting the like button on today's video, it's going to help the channel grow. It's going to get us to a point where this little baby that we've made from GBFC can grow into a teenager and into a flipping grown adult. I can't believe I'm even making these dreadful analogies for what this channel is, but we've got aspirations, you know. But without any further ado, let's take a look at the champions of Europe. Group A finishes with Bayern Munich with 16 points, Atletico Madrid with 9, qualifying in second, RB Salzburg, who actually look like a good side, with 4, and then Lokomotiv Moscow, who did manage 3 draws in this group, which is not bad considering the quality of opposition. Bottom of the group, Salzburg go into the Europa League with Manchester United. Atletico Madrid are probably one of the toughest, if not the toughest draw that Chelsea could get in the last 16 this season. But with this group, there wasn't really any surprises. I think that Bayern Munich have been a cut above the rest of teams in Europe this season, last season, and even building into last season. I think the key thing for Bayern, if you look at their players from 2 years ago compared to now, They've all been in the gym, they've all bulked up, they're such a strong side, they've got height in the side, they've got pace in the side. It is a daunting prospect for any team that face Bayern Munich. They are the heavy favourites again for the competition. A lot of people say it might be Liverpool again, it could be City, but this Bayern team, I think, are just an absolute level above. Now we move into Group B, and with the final match day, every single side in this group had the opportunity to qualify. Real Madrid faced Borussia Mönchengladbach at home. They won 2-0. Karim Benzema, the star of the show. And Inter Milan, incredibly disappointing. They don't even make the Europa League after a goalless draw at home to Shakhtar Donetsk. Antonio Conte now probably going to come under some pressure for the Italian giants. Now then, Real Madrid were down in 3rd place on the final day, and they got a very solid home win. Borussia Mönchengladbach go through in 2nd, but Real Madrid, let's talk about them for a moment. They've struggled this season. They're playing players like Lucas Vázquez at right back, showing the struggle that they're currently having. Zinedine Zidane is under some serious pressure, and there are a lot of people saying that if he would have lost last night, or if Real Madrid failed to qualify out of the group stage for the first time in I do not know how long, then Zinedine Zidane would have been fired. The fact they've gone through as winners of the group could be enough to save his job. Real Madrid will go in with the potential of a favourable tie in the last 16. They obviously can't play Barcelona or Atletico Madrid because they're from the same country. So Real Madrid, if they can sort themselves out over the next 2 months or so before the last 16 games, they will be confident that once again they can show why they are Europe's elite club and go on and try and go as far in the competition as possible. Do I think they have enough quality to win it? Absolutely not. I think they're definitely going to fall short. As soon as they come up against Bayern Munich, I think it could be a humiliation, the same way that we saw Barcelona humiliated last year. Now we move into Group C, and this one was a very favourable draw for Manchester City. They finished top of the group with 16 points. Porto doing very well in 2nd on 13. They also managed to draw against Man City, stopping them getting the perfect results in the group. Olympiacos go through on goal difference ahead of Marseille to the Europa League. This was a very good draw for Manchester City. They've been very convincing so far in this season's Champions League. A couple of results in the Premier League haven't really gone their way, but their Champions League form has been good. And a lot of people are saying that Pep Guardiola's success at Manchester City is going to determine heavily upon what he does in this competition this season. Man City, if they can get a favourable draw, they're always going to be a tricky team for even Bayern Munich to face on their day when they have their strongest 11 available and when they're on the ball, which I know is a bit of a weird phrase to use in football, but this City side, when they're playing at their best and when they're in form, they're a daunting prospect for any potential opposition. As for Porto, Chelsea have the least chance of getting them in the last 16, but I think any side who won the group would be confident to knock Porto out. No disrespect, but I don't think they're at the level of some of the others. Now, Group D, this was another interesting one. Liverpool had the Group 1 before the final day, so they go through as group winners. Not really a big surprise, but the competition was pretty strong for second place in this group. Atalanta and Ajax, it finished 1-0 to Atalanta in Amsterdam on the final group game, seeing Atalanta make the last 16 for the second season in a row. Ajax make the Europa for the second season in the row as well because of Chelsea last season. Now, Atalanta, very good side, play some good football. The question is, can Liverpool reach the same heights that they managed to reach over the past couple of years? 2 finals out of the past 3 seasons. They've got that European pedigree. They've got a brilliant manager in Jurgen Klopp. Great team spirit as well. With fans looking like they might be going back to Anfield next season. The knockout rounds, Liverpool Champions League nights. We all know the narrative. It could be a good season again for Liverpool in Europe. They've got a good chance of drawing a solid last 16 draw because they won the group. And I think they could go quite a long way in this year's competition. They managed a 1-1 draw against Midtjylland last night, but it was a bit like Chelsea and Krasnodar. Didn't mean anything. Now, Group F was a very interesting one. Dortmund win the group, unsurprisingly so, with 13 points. Lazio on 10, Club Brugge on 8, and Zenit St. Petersburg on 1. It went down to the final day. Lazio managed the result they needed against Club Brugge, but they didn't lose a single game during the group stage. They drew 4 out of their 6 matches, and any side that draws Lazio in the last 16, it's going to be a daunting away trip, and they're a very well organised side who play some nice football, and of course Immobile as their striker is always going to be dangerous. Now, talking about Borussia Dortmund, I think the key thing this season in the Champions League has been, if you look at the big clubs and the clubs that traditionally are the ones you want to avoid, there isn't really anybody in their respective national leagues who are running away with things right now. You look at Barcelona, they're seriously struggling. Real Madrid are struggling. Juventus haven't been as good this season as they have been. Paris Saint-Germain have not been as consistent in Ligue 1 as they have been over the years. So Borussia Dortmund, I seriously consider as the dark horses to actually go on and win this competition. If they can get a decent draw in the last 16, which is favourable considering they won the group, they're going to become a very difficult side to beat. They've got some brilliant players. They're a very strong team. They've obviously got Erling Haaland up front. They've got Jadon Sancho, Marco Reus, some of these guys. They've got Guerrero, decent left wing back as well. Dortmund are going to be a good side. They're a tough team and no one's going to want to play them. We move into Group G. Now, this one was always about Juventus and Barcelona. Dynamo Kiev and Ferencváros of Hungary were in there to pretty much make up the numbers. Juventus go to Barcelona on the final group game. Cristiano Ronaldo scoring 2 penalties and Weston McKennie getting on the score sheet as well, seeing Juventus leapfrog Barcelona to win the group. Barcelona won't be happy that they've now given themselves the opportunity of a difficult tie in the last 16. Juventus and Barcelona, huge European pedigree. Juventus, they'll be looking to win the competition. If Ronaldo wins it with Juventus, then, well, I think there is a serious argument that goes more so in his favour for the Ronaldo-Messi debate. Do I think it will happen? No, because I think Chelsea are going to win the Champions League, of course. But Juve and Barcelona, they will both be confident. 5 wins out of a possible 6. Shout out to Dynamo Kiev, who did probably the best they could in this group, making the Europa League. We move into Group H, and of course, this is the one that everybody is laughing about right now. Manchester United, that one night in Istanbul where they were beaten by Istanbul. I cannot pronounce the bloody name. I need to get better at this. United go through to the Europa League after making a flying start to life in Group H. Paris Saint-Germain leapfrog Leipzig on the final day of the group with a 5-1 win over Istanbul to go ahead of Leipzig on goal difference. PSG, they're going to have a lot of confidence after this one. The goals coming in from Neymar and Mbappe in that game in Paris. And of course, I probably should discuss the reasons why the game was actually suspended in the first 20 odd minutes, or I think it was 13 minutes or something, 14 minutes in that game on Tuesday night. It was replayed yesterday. Paris Saint-Germain win 5-1. My thoughts on this are that it's very difficult to commentate on any of these things that are happening in football until we know the full facts. I think there's a lot of videos online. You've got Demba Ba confronting the officials. And I want it to be clear that just because I take a diplomatic stand of saying I don't want to give an opinion based off of something that I don't know all the answers to and the full facts, it doesn't mean that I'm belittling the seriousness of what potentially has happened. No to racism has been something that we've all been saying within football now for a long time. We know it's a problem still. I hate seeing all of this stuff still happening, you know. The fact that 22 players have to walk off the pitch to make a stand just shows that even though we're making progress within the game to eradicate this from our sport, it's still something that needs to be addressed. And I think that the right course of action was taken from the players to refuse to come back on the pitch, and whatever retrospective action is held against the official who has supposedly used certain vocabulary on the sidelines, I think we'll all find that out in due course. But I don't want to address it anymore. I think my position's pretty clear that I obviously want to kick racism out of football as much as the next person does, but let's wait and see all the facts before we further comment on this one. Paris Saint-Germain and Leipzig will be confident. Leipzig got a great result against United on the final day. It all went down to the final day, and Manchester United will be in the Europa League come 2021. As for who I think is going to win the competition, all seriousness, I think Bayern Munich are certainly the favourites. I think Dortmund are the dark horses, but Chelsea, if they can carry on their form, we will be dark horses in this competition as well. But anyway, going to wrap up this video here. Champions League last 16, it's always where it gets super exciting. I cannot wait for it to happen. Subscribe to GBFC if you're new, and if you haven't liked today's video, why not go and drop it a little like, turn on notifications so that you never miss an upload, and I'll catch you guys tomorrow with Premier League predictions for the first time here on GBFC 2. Catch you guys there.